Okay, so looking at some charts, we've got, I'll just start with BK, BKE. Why is it so laggy? Why is it so laggy? All right, look at this nice strong uptrend. Great strong uptrend on the daily. It looks like we came back, touched the 50 SMA, found some support there. We've got, let's see what we got going on here. We got a daily squeeze that looks like it just fired to the short side. However, the 50 SMA is providing some support. If we're right there, looks like 49.81 is support for a potential move back up to the upside. We've got what, about $1 ATR. All right, so the Bank of Mellon. Just let's see what else we got going on here on the 4-hour. Wow, super laggy data. So this is that 50 SMA on the daily. It looks like we bounced off of that. We're currently in this demand zone from, let's see if I can find it. I'm just going to use this wick as the demand zone. So we'd really need to maintain that level there. So a break of 50-50. I like nice round numbers, right? So if we can break, like, there's the demand zone, right? So a break of 50-59, and I would look to take this to the long side. MACD's negative and decreasing, except we're slightly curling over, right? I'd like to see the signal line crossover for the next move upwards. We need to get a little bit more aligned. Currently, these red 10x bars indicate bearish position, but if you can see how it's interacted in the past, right, it's gone from red to green relatively quickly. Looks like we bounced off of the daily Keltner channel bottom. We're trying to get, oh, it looks like we did get through the 4-hour Keltner channel bottom. So look for price to come down and test that 50-50 level. Like I said, we need to establish a more solid direction, and that would be a break of this 34 EMA. Fibonacci is letting us know that, so if we go from high to low, we're going to we will retrace to at least the 382, which is 51. I would like it to see us go through go through 51, hit 51.37, come back to 51 for the next move up to 53. We only move about $1 a day, so that gives us $7 from 50 to 57 with chop back and forth. I like this. I'm going to target 51.73. Looking at the options chain. So quad witching, those 50s are well within risk tolerance. The 49.50s look pretty decent. If we went to a higher delta, there's not a lot of open interest, so we have to be able to get out of a position once we get into it. So I'm definitely going to throw these 50s up on the watch list. All right, that's BK. Contrarian, if we break below the 50-day SMA on the daily, right, we would potentially come all the way back down to this previous high right here, coming in at 49.13, a break of 49.13, and then we've got, 47 and then 45. So basically $2 drops. That's the contrarian look. All right. COF coffee. Nice strong uptrend. Look at that. It's a great looking uptrend. Right? Maintaining, respecting the 34, coming down and touching the 50 once, twice, 3 times. So this could just be a potential retracement to the 34 before the next move up, like it did here, right? It's done this before. It's come down and tested the 34. So if we were to come down and test the 34 and put us into this this little widget here. I don't have a specific level, but right, 155.64. Right, there's this demand zone that we're currently in, or that we touched. Right, there's the demand zone. So we came down, touched the 21. We could potentially fade a little further to the 34 before the next move up. The histogram is decreasing. We're in a daily squeeze. Once that fires off, look for potential move back to the upside. So let's say we came back down and tested the 34, and we made our next move up. I would look for, let's see, we popped, ran into resistance. Yeah, came down, broke the 50. This is a nice potential reversal candle right here. I'd like the MACD histogram to curl around a little bit more, right? I'd like it to get more aligned with the potential crossover on the 4-hour for the next move up. From a fib perspective, this is fib on the 4-hour. I want to, let's see what, all right, so if I look at, for symmetry, if I go from this high to this low, this retracement lines up, bounces perfectly off of the 382, comes up, breaks above the 50. Look for a potential move or consolidation up to 162, a break of 162, and we're going to go back and test these previous highs at 164 and 160. All right, that's definitely a significant level there, as well as all right. So 163, 165. If I were to draw, so 172 is the fib target. However, I feel like 165 might be well within reach. I didn't even check the ATR, so looking for that level there. ATR of 3.5 a day. 160, so potential. I'd be taking profit, obviously, at 162, 163, and then 165. Contrarian, we may come back down if we break below 158.50. We may come back down here and test 155 and potentially 152. Below that, we've got, is that 152? Yeah, 152. That's a nice solid round number. We like this nice whole number, right? 152. So if we barely closed above the 34. If we can get above the 8 EMA, look for long to 165. So break of the 8, look for a run to 165 with resistance and taking profit at 162, 163, 162.16, 163.77, right? So contrarian, the break of this 34 or the previous low at 158.61. Look for 155, 152. All right, that's COF. Looking at DD. What is DD? Oh, DuPont. What do we got going on here? Uptrend, massive uptake in the beginning of the year. Looks like we sold off. Now we're just kind of waving, right? We're in a little wave. A little double top of trying to break previous highs. 86 looks like a pretty significant level. No squeezes really to help us out. $1.70 ATR. We had an X dividend. So retrace to the 34. has not really respected the 50, which is interesting. We were able to maintain the 34. We do have daily low compression squeezes that has not fired off yet, so I'd like that histogram to turn light blue and continue the next move upwards. This is just chop, man. This is just an ugly demand zone, or ugly channel, right? Not super thrilled about this channel. So we hit the high, we sold off, the algo crossed above the 34. What did DuPont do on the, what's the algo with DuPont doing? Sorry. Well, look at that old doji right there. That's total indecision. And Fibonacci from high to low. So it looks like we sold off, we came up, we tested the 50 and we sold off. We're at an indecision point. Consolidation. This is chop. I'm not super interested in playing this one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pass. If you wanna take a stab at it, go right ahead. Just not super thrilled with the setup. There's better plays to put our money in. HON, Honeywell. So we gapped, maintained, ran, gapped up, gap filled, gapped up, gap filled. Stacked EMAs, daily squeeze, 2-day, 3-day coming up. Good beta. VWAP, 91% of the 52-week high. We've got, throw some fib levels on here. We'll go from high to low. So we'll go from this high to this low. Oh, clear drawing set. All right. So depending on which high to low we go from, we haven't quite tested the 6-1 or the 382, but we did come down and test the 50%. So we sold off, we found support at the 50-34 EMA SMA combo, which was also the 50% retracement. If we can continue to maintain the support, look for a move back up to 234 with some resistance along the way. We're going to have a little resistance there. A little resistance here. Right. From a fib target level, we go from this low to this high, back down to this low. Right. Good symmetry on that point. Oh, nope. I don't want to do that. We're very symmetrical on the extension and retracement, right? So 238 is the longer term target, followed by 244 and 254. So the short term, 230, 235, right? We would need to break 227.50 for the run to 234. Looking at the options chain, 230s are pretty decently priced. $5 expected move, right? That puts us at 230. Market makers are saying about $2, right? So that puts us at 227.50. I like these two 2750s just because they fit well within my risk tolerance. That gives us a target, right, of 227.50, which is at 618. So since we haven't tested the 382 yet, we may potentially come back. We may continue to sell off and test that, but look for a bounce right at 223.37. So about $1 to the downside before we take our next move back up to 227.50, 230, 232, 235, right? That's HON. All right, KSU. What is KSU? Kansas City Southern Communications. Can we say gap and goes? Gap and go. Is that a parabolic pattern? It is. All right, so if you don't know what a parabolic pattern is, this is a good example. We gap, consolidate, run up, consolidate, gap up, gap up, gap up. This is that finger pattern. I don't know enough about this stock, but I do know a couple things about price action. So this stock was nice, strong uptrend, kept uptrending, kept uptrending. You know, we had a little bit of a pop and a consolidation here, very similar to what's going on here. But what I see is this. Oh, come on! Change the colors. All right, I see this. Oh. Right, you see this, this, right? I just don't know enough about this stock to be super comfortable with it. So I'm going to look at the chart in front of me. From a daily perspective, there is this giant gap from 260 to 289 to fill. It has not filled any of these gaps before. Wow, I've never seen this stock before. Currently consolidating. Slingshot effect, slingshot squeeze is about to fire off, right? So the histogram goes from red to yellow. We're into a low compression squeeze. We've got an X dividend that was on the 11th, so we went ahead and had our X dividend. So as long as we can maintain the 34, there's potential for it to move back up to the upside. This thing moves pretty chunky, $4 a day. I'm just going to throw on some key levels here, right? Previous high. Right. Previous high. Previous low. So this is an interesting stock. Rising 50, rising 200. Squeeze, slingshot squeeze in effect. The 10x bars are yellow, so they're kind of neutral. Stack positive EMAs. 300 is a very psychological level for all stocks. What have we done the last couple days? So we sold off, came down, found support at the 4-hour bottom. How do we interact with the Keltner channels? This is a weird looking stock. Very weird looking. Broke uptrend, right? All right, we broke our uptrend. We're neutral, consolidating on the MACD. It's flat. Market extension, our primary MACDs are flat. 4-hour daily, 2-hour squeeze. 4-hour squeeze is firing to the downside. All right. That's not super encouraging. I just realized I don't have any. Where's my B4 indicator? It sucks. Maybe back. So basically hanging out in the 4-hour Keltner channel bottom below the 200 SMA on the 5-minute, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 5, 10, let's see, 10, 15, 20, 30-minute squeezes are all light yellow. So those are neutral but decreasing. So it looked like we got a little bit of a pop at the end of the day, right? So that may be a reversal, right? Let's keep in mind the 300 psychological level, which is the 4-hour Keltner channel top, which we really haven't done bottom to top for a while. So this would be top to bottom, right? Just keep getting pressured down. All right, so if we can break 295 or break this 4-hour Keltner channel top, we've got immediate resistance at 295, 296, 297, and then 299. Pretty decent option, not really. That options chain is jacked. It's so liquid, dude. You could drive a Mack truck through it. Anyway, that was KSU. I don't have interest in it. LEN. So let's see. So uptrend sold off. Looks like there was an iron condor here at one point I tried to do. With earnings coming up, so I'm going to play this one for earnings, and I'll let you know what I do. So it's got earnings on Thursday, so I'll do a play on it for Friday, or on Wednesday. It's probably going to be something like the 95... I don't know. I'll have to look at it at that time. I've got a completely different chart setup for earnings, but got to remember LEN earnings. Okay. NEM, Newmont Corp. So we played this a whole bunch. This is actually a very fun stock. Get rid of all this stuff. Alrighty. So we have maintained this bottom at 69, right? 69.75. Like this is a 4 test of a 4 double bottom or whatever. However, the histogram has turned red. We'd like it to turn yellow and then green again. Good ADX. $1.50 move a day. Stack positive EMAs. We may consolidate from 70 to 71, right? 7250 is a level, right? There's a level there, and we got a level here, and then we got a level here. Actually, I think that level's a little bit more in line. All right, so you got this little channel here that we like to play. However, we need to get above some of this other stuff. If I go fib from high to low, we'd like to retrace to the 382 or the 50% retracement. Look at that lineup. We'll move that guy. So the 50% lines up perfectly with this candle, right? The 618 is this little, support zone. So what do we do last week? Kind of choppy all last week. Bearish 10x bars, right? The histogram is neutral but increasing. We need the MACD to curl over. We'd like our primary MACD to curl up a little bit. We're just consolidating right now. No squeezes to really help us out. We're just hanging out at the bottom of the daily Keltner channel and the 4 hour. Right, so I'd like us to go from the bottom of the daily Keltner channel to the Keltner channel mid, which is the 7250. Right, it moves in 50-cent increments. That's why it's so fun to play. I'm gonna watch this one for Sunday, or see what it does in after hours on Sunday. And right, it's maintained this 4 hour bottom, so we've got support coming in right at 70 to the downside, to the upside 70. Yeah, we're just flat right now. It's just super flat. $70.72, like this is day trade heaven, right? You need to play it from the bottom to the top to the right. I'll keep an eye on this one for you and get back to you. Pin duo. All right. At one point, this stock ran up massively. So this is a Chinese ADR, kind of like a big finger forming right here, right? We do have uptrend support, so I can't speak too super negatively about it. We've got uptrend support happening here, right? We're below the 200 SMA on the daily. This is that little just choppity chop, chop, chop pattern, right? Chop, 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 right? Bouncity, bouncity, bounce. If I needed to, so bad earnings, maintain off of earnings. Daily, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day squeeze. Like I can't even really find any fib levels because it's so up and down. All right, if I go up from this high, which is the last 31, to this low, we'd really need to break 140, and then we're going to eat, 145, 152, 160, right? Until then, I'm not super interested in it. I want to see it get above. Yeah, it's got to maintain this uptrend support for me to be interested in it. A break of that, and we've got room to the downside. All right, we've got room to 110. So from 121 to 118 to 110. We may have just came and filled this gap. Maybe that's all it was. Gap fill to reversal. Anyway, I'm not super interested in it because you got yellow 10x bars. We're just squeezing back and forth. It chops back and forth. I'd like to have a clean break of some of these previous highs, right? And this get above the 50, get above the 200, right? Yeah. Not super interested in pin duo. PHM. Kind of the same thing, just up and down. There's not a real clear, nice, solid uptrend. Good beta, good Bollinger Bands, daily, 2 day, 3 day squeeze. Looks like we sold off into ex-dividend day, found some support, filled the gap. From a fib level, if this is a reversal, we'd like to retrace to 57, right, which is previous high. So we sold off, right, retraced above, sold off, retraced, touched the 50%, sold off, touched the 382. The next, if there's a 2, if I put the 2-3 on here, right? Right, we're going to revert to 56 before the next move down. I don't know what's going on with the stock. It's just kind of weird. This is one of those you want to run your fib from bottom to top, right? Or is it from top to bottom? Anyway, look for, yeah, it needs to, the histogram needs to turn positive. The daily squeeze needs to push us back up above some of these previous levels. This is a giant, right, down, just this giant downward wedge. It's nasty. It's just nasty. Contrarian, if we want to take it down, even though the algo's been buying on it. $53, then $51. Those are the key levels. So break of 53.65, which is a previous low, and I would look to bring it down to 53, then 51.55. Pop and consolidate. It's selling off. We're just consolidating right here in this daily Keltner channel bottom cloud. So, all right, last two real quick was EXPE, Expedia.com. All right, this is just chop fest. It's consolidating, bounce, 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 bounce. Right, you can play the bounces. Right, that's 180. So 163 to 180, right? We're currently consolidating right at 172. As a $6 move to the upside, daily 2-day mid compression, 3-day, 4-day high compression squeeze. Good beta, about $1.50 a day. All right, pop at the open and consolidate for the rest of the day. Right. So 4-hour chart. Pop and fade, pop and fade. Right. So we hit the 4-hour Keltner channel top. We came back down and tested the mid. We're just consolidating. So this is obviously one of those day trades. Scalp it for a couple bucks until we can get some of these primary squeezes to fire off. Especially if we can get above 180, then we're gonna run. But it's gonna be a fight to get up into there. All right, and then the last one, AMC. All right, so I had called it out back at 20, right? I did a video on it. It went to 72. It came back down. It tested the 8 EMA, found support there, and it might be continuing its next move upwards. No squeezes, stacked positive EMAs, a $8 ATR, positive VWAP, decent beta, right? From a fib perspective, if we go from high to low, look for retracement to 52, 56, and then 60, right? Contrarian, if I wanted to do like a longer term. I think this actually lines up a little better. So we sold off, we came back down, we tested the 50% retracement from this high, from this low to this high and back down again. Get rid of this guy. All right, tested the 50, broke above the 618. All right, which would allow us to a little lower. Consolidation run up. Bearish divergence on the MACD. On the 5-minute or the 4-hour, we sold off, maintained support on the 21 EMA, came back and broke above the 8 EMA, so look for the next move up. If we're looking to target the 618s, like, I think that we can get to 60, right? With a little bit of resistance coming in at 52. So 52, then 55, and then 60. All right, we're at the Keltner channel 4-hour mid. Look for a run to 55. We break above 58, and then we've got room. We've got room to zoom. Room to zoom. So 49 to 55, consolidate 55 to 57. 57, room to zoom. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks for joining me. My name is Darkbull Algo. It's been a weekend watch list building session. I'm going to try to put this all into chapters. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and that's it. Thanks for joining me. I'll talk to you soon.